Hi everyone. I thought I'd give you a little bit of information about some of the things I'm expecting for the rest of the course. So when you're doing the SIM outline, which is the strategic instructional model, then I want you to list the 8 steps and make sure that you really feel comfortable doing that over and over and over. So for the pretest, what you're going to do is discuss some of the difficulties students are having and say, well, I have something for you. So let's say that I'm going to do something like SQR3. So we talk about textbooks and how do you know what's important when you read and how do you know what to highlight, those kinds of things. And I said, how would you like to be able to read a chapter once and then get everything you need out of it and never have to look back unless you really don't understand something, one small thing. And so that's the buy-in, right? So the pretest is the buy-in. Then I would take the SQR3 and I would describe the strategy. S is for survey, Q is for question, just general thing like that. Then with a piece of, I would model that now with a piece of writing that is not complicated. So something that they already know or, a different textbook that they don't need to know, that kind of stuff. So for the model, what we want to do is make sure that it's with really easy information so that they're not learning information and the strategy at the same time. So I would go through and I would do the strategy and talk out loud. How do I know this is important? Well, this is in bold. Maybe it has a definition. I see them on the side. So I'm saying everything out loud as I'm doing that. Then what I do is for the verbal practice, now the student does the same strategy and even use the same piece of information and say, how do you know what's important, and sort of guide, and the student will talk out loud as they're doing it. For controlled practice, now we would take out perhaps the student's textbook. The student at this point will go on and use that and they'll go through, and as they're doing stuff, I would watch them and it's very controlled so that I have them do that. For advanced practice now I would say, okay, maybe some homework, or I'd like you to come back tomorrow or come back next week and I want you to show me what you've highlighted in this chapter. Then they come back and we can go through that so that we can go through that information. The post test is with this information, how does the student feel about the process itself? Did it work? What is important, what isn't, what is this? This is where we can sort of adjust it. And this is where the metacognitive part comes in. Is it the right strategy? Did it work right? What can we change? Is there things that you need to do differently? Is there things that you like? That kind of thing. So that's the post test is really important. And the metacognitive is when the student starts to evaluate the strategy and then it really becomes useful. Finally, the generalization. This is when the student and I will sit and we'll start to brainstorm. What do you think you would do in this situation? What other subjects do you think you can use that? Now, what are we going to do with this information? What is it, what is good about it? Did you bring it to class? Is that good to supplement when, does it save you from writing notes in class? Those kind of things. So again, that number 7 and 8 are really key. And number 8, when they finally realize that they can use it in this situation, in that situation, that's your key, that they really understand the strategy. And that's when you know that they have it and they probably won't need very little help. They will need very little help in the future with that strategy. So for our assignments, make sure you only choose one strategy per assignment. Okay, that's the other thing, is you don't want to overwhelm the student with, okay, we're going to do this and then this and then this and then this. So one per strategy. Make sure they really understand it before they move on. Okay, I hope that helps. Thank you.